challenge. We can look at that as social impact, right? So it's significant positive change that addresses a pressing social challenge. You can also look at it as creating social impact is the result of a deliberate set of activities with a goal matching this definition. So you have it's focused, it's very deliberate, it's not vague. You know exactly what you're trying to achieve, and you're basically going straight to the point. When we look at impact again, right? Impact on its own can also it basically implies that there's an influence, or you are affecting you're affecting something. There's a how do I put this? There's a particular thing that you're trying to address, and once you address those things, especially in the social sphere, or for example in your community, then you can say that you are actually having direct social impact. But I don't want to talk about CSR right now, because we already know what CSR means. So if I want to give you a simple definition, we could just say that the key idea like behind CSR is basically for corporations to pursue some pro social objectives, and in the same way maximizing profit. So it's like, while you are making profit as a business, you're saying, okay, as a business or as a corporate organization, you need to kind of like choose something within the community or the environments that you can also put part of like your profit into, and saying that this is your own corporate social responsibility. But I'm sure that you have probably, or maybe not, have not heard of what they call ISR. ISR is just simple. It just basically means individual social responsibility. And some people can also look at it as PSR, which is personal social responsibility. And ISR basically refers to our own awareness of how our action affects the community as a whole. When we're very clear that what Angela does right now, or what Veronica does right now, or what Josephine does right now, it has a direct impact, right, in our community. So you being aware of this. Now, ISR can also include volunteering time. It could be giving up your money. It could also be standing for a particular cause, or advocating for a particular cause. Veronica, of course, mentioned that she's a lawyer, and with all lawyers who are constantly advocating for something, it's like, what are we fighting for? You know how they always say we're fighting for, So when you talk about ISR, I feel that part of advocacy as well is within what an individual can do, standing up for a particular cause. So, for example, I want to link how one's action can be so impactful to a particular thing that he or she might not even notice that this is what they're doing. So let me give you an example. This is an example of a friend of mine who basically linked JDI up, right? So what she did was that she had made up her mind that she wanted to do something for community, and she didn't know how to go about it. And so what she did was that she linked JDI up with to have like a meeting with a potential boss of hers. Now, with that meeting, it is most likely going to, for example, secure a potential partnership between between her boss or her organization and, for example, JDI. Now, if that happens, and let's say we were going to do the project, which is the Iwa community project that I'm sure you've already seen on our social media platform, that we're trying to raise funds for 421 children to have water, to have toilets, facilities in their school, and then we're going to be bringing water to that area. And then there's also a clinic in that area. We're trying to sort out the borehole because it's spoiled, so that so that the clinic can have access to water. And we're also giving like training on hygiene and sanitation in that community. Here's where I'm coming from. Because of that person's awareness of how her action impacts directly to community, and with that decision of her making that link, she can actually say that that decision that she has made is potentially going to be helping 421 children. Now, you can look at it like, oh, 421 children. Okay, they're going to have toilets. But it even goes beyond 421 children having toilets. Let's look at the situation of those children presently, the fact that they do not even have toilets where they are. It means that they are exposed to different kinds of diseases right now because they don't even have proper hygiene and sanitation wherever they are. So beyond the fact that they are having toilets, there's the direct impacts to their own personal health as well. So that decision that that friend of mine, for example, did to ensuring that she's having a meeting or she's going to, have that do that connection is impacting 421 children and ensuring that these children do not even have diseases moving forward. Now, you might not see how this is huge, but let me also tell you something else about these diseases. When we were growing up, or when I was in my secondary school, for example, there was this friend of, she was like a junior, and like how, and I might be graphic, slightly graphic here, like how you're traveling to school and your parents are taking you to school, like a road trip, and then you have to stop by the road and use the bathroom and, pee. Luckily for guys can just stand anywhere and just pee anywhere. But girls, it's totally different. So I think this girl, she was taken into a bush area so that she could just bend down and pee. But while she did that, I'm not sure if there was, she kind of like rubbed herself to some leaf or something of that nature. And by the time she got to school, she had this particular infection, which literally affected that area. And she needed to be, it was kind of like an emergency. My point in saying this right now is that there are a lot of children who go through, because of the, using the bathroom, using the toilets and bushes and cleaning themselves up with things that are just not even right. Especially for females, they get infected with some diseases. Now, you might think that, oh yeah, this disease, let's just give her some medication and she's sorted out. If she's not sorted out properly, she could also have an infection that could affect her later on. There are children or there are women, for example, who are presently who are married, for example, who are having maybe some issues with fertility, and then when they go back or go deeper into why they're having issues with fertility, they're finding out that there was a particular infection that they had while they were children, which was not treated properly, right? So I'm saying this that, you might look at it like, oh yeah, there's no big deal in you speaking to your boss, for example, and saying that, see, there's something JDI is doing, or there's something this NGO is doing, and I think that we need to connect with them because of this, because of A, B, C, and D. While some might just say, well, there's no big deal in talking about it, I'm saying that there's a big deal in that, because in that conversation happening, in that link being created, in the partnership happening, 421 children and having access to bathrooms, and there's a potential disease that they could have gotten that would have affected them in the future that they're no longer going to have. Why? Because one person decided to make that decision that their action impacts directly to community. I just needed to say that. At this point, let me just quickly find out if there's any question, because I'm literally going to be going like very fast. Is there any question at this point in time? I can see Femi Ayokule just joined in. Thank you, Femi. Do we have any questions? It's just a matter of yes, no, so that I can continue. Or any contributions? I think Femi is speaking, but you're muted. Do you want to?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. I want to find out, how did you get information about the schools you're meant to go to? Are these suggestions from people, or do you work with the government?
Okay, so when we started with the Iwa community, if you had been following our story, what we did was that we pushed it out. One of the things I do personally, I'm big on working with people. I like to work with people. I don't like to just say, oh yeah, this is what I want to do, and then we just jump on it. I like to work with people like, guys, what do you think? How can we all come together to work on a particular project? So what we did in JDI was to put out a regular post on social media, and we asked people, you guys, you are in Kaduna, you are in Maitama, or you are in Niger State, you are seeing what your community sees, things that I can't even see myself. Can you identify communities within these parameters, right, that have maybe nothing less than 800 people in their community, that probably 800 people in their community? I think the parameters we gave was that we didn't want we didn't want the community to be less than 800. And they must clearly not even have any proper access to water, because there's no point in us having to, for example, drill a borehole in a particular place and we're spending millions of naira, and then how many people, just maybe 10 people there. So we put down different parameters and we put it out there, and we asked people to nominate communities. Now, of course, the communities were nominated, and we decided to pick based on the ones, for example, that so there's another thing we added on our parameters. We needed the place to have like a proper road, like transport access to, that we would have access to the place via cars and all, because there's some communities in places that you probably have to enter the boat and go there, and with what we had, that was not what we wanted. So we had certain parameters, right? So once we did that, we were now able to pick. So we picked from what people threw to us. And then we also, what do you call it again? My English has failed me. We did a short listing, and then eventually we got that community. Then we also needed somebody in the community that we could talk with, who would also confirm some of the things that people had raised. Because it's, you could go to a place and you would think that, oh yeah, these guys know what they're doing, or these guys are suffering from this, but it's a person from that community that would tell you it's true or it's not true. So that was basically how we came up with that. Any other questions, so that I can move on to the other stuff? Yes, no?
Okay, I think I'm done for now.
Okay, great. So now, here's what I was hoping to do at this side. I wanted to talk to you guys about the 4 different arms of JDI. Now, I'm happy that some of you that are here are equally, so for example, for Mark first, you said that you also run an NGO, so that's great. And the same with Josephine. I'm not sure if, no, it wasn't Josephine, it was Veronica. You said you co-founded an organization. I'm not sure if is it an NGO? It's an NGO. Do you want to turn on your mic, please? I can't hear you. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
So is it an NGO?
Yes, so it's a non-profit.
Uh-huh. And what do you do? Mm-hmm.
It focuses basically on human rights, specifically women and children's rights, and then youth empowerment and youth empowerment. So those 4 focus areas: women, children, and then empowerment.
Okay, so that's fine. So I'm happy that we have at least 2 people here who run their own NGOs, and you can see that there are different focal points or different initiatives, for example. Now, one of the things I would like to say is that, especially with NGOs, we need to think partnership. There's a lot that we cannot do on our own. You need to find ways to partner with different organizations that have different, they have the capacity, for example, in different areas. So for example, the time we put out that ad, there was an ad, there was a girl who was raped, a 9-year-old who was raped, and it was Dorothy Njameze Foundation that reached out to us in relation to needing blood for the girl, right? So she is with women who are being abused, children who are being abused, or children that are being trafficked and everything. So sorry, the light went off, but I hope you can still see my face. Okay. So we need to be big on partnerships. It's like, how can you connect with other organizations that have strength in other areas and capacity in other areas that you guys can, eventually when you add it all up together, it's like, boom, we've done something great for community. So here's what I want to do, just to tell you about the four main arms of JDI and the projects that we're presently working on right now. And this is, of course, your own chance as well to see how we can connect, what you think we can do together in collaborating or partnering, or how you think, one way or the other, we can link what we're doing together, right? Okay, so I'll start first with the blood arm. Now, the main project that we have under the blood arm is called Blood Match. Blood Match is an artificial intelligence that connects blood donors to people who need blood using their location and their blood type. It's very simple. We're live in Nigeria, in all of the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and also in the FCT. When I say we are live, what I'm saying is, as long as you've got the smartphone, any smartphone at all, and as long as you're on Telegram, which is like WhatsApp, or you're on Facebook, right? In any of the states in Nigeria, you can have access to Blood Match. So what we've been trying to do is to see how we can get as many people as possible registered on Blood Match as voluntary blood donors, so that when they or their family members ever need blood, they can also go back on that same smartphone and search for another donor that is close to them with the same blood type, that can come to the hospital where they are and donate blood directly. Now you might say, oh yeah, blood, it might not just be, what's the big deal about blood? Oh, I don't want this, I don't want that. But if you go and check the amount of people who lose their lives just because there's no blood available, we have a huge number. I don't want to talk about the statistics. If I want to talk about women who lose their lives after giving birth to children because there's no blood available to be transfused, there's a high number. The girl I just mentioned right now, who was 9 years old and needed blood to be transfused to her, we were able to bring roughly about 7 blood donors to her. So you can imagine that 7 units of blood was transfused to her. So you see the importance, and that is just to one person, meaning that 7 people had to come to help to save one person. Now, the whole thing again is that with studies, after we studied to find out that people are not willing to just go and donate their blood anywhere because they're skeptical. In Nigeria, we have a lot of, oh, please, I don't want my blood dropped here and there. But I realized as well that people are willing to donate blood when they can see the person that their blood is going to. So that was one of the reasons why we created Blood Match, right? So that the information about people who need blood are sent to you directly on your smartphone as a notification, and then you can go to the hospital to register. Now we have that. The Blood Match is on Facebook, like I said, and it's also on Telegram, and our website information about this is also on our website, and that's Blood Match's website, which is www.jbloodmatch.org. How we can get on radio, it has not been difficult, how we can get to churches, how we can get church members to invite us so that we can come and speak about Blood Match. We just need more people registered on that platform, because if you don't have people registered on the platform within your state, for example, the AI does not work or it doesn't function properly. So let me leave Blood Match now. Let me go to the aspect of water. Under water our project is called the H2O for Community, and I just talked about it, which is the Iwa community. What we do is that we identify communities. That are in need of. Oh gosh, I think we're running out of time. Are we? Yeah. Okay. So what we do is that we identify communities that do not have access to clean water, and what we try to do is to drill boreholes for them and basically get them to have access to water. We go for baseline surveys, we visit with the community, we see what is happening there. We don't just say, oh yeah, we have this money and throw it out there, because JDI is also very, very big on accountability, because people trust us and they're giving us their funds to be able to help them. Saying, guys, we went there, we have 200 women there, these are the children, we want to be able to give this to you. And that's why we did a lot of, and we're also big on storytelling, and that's why we did videos and documentaries showing what we need the funds for. Presently we have the Iwa community. right? And we've been able to raise we've raised some money. I just don't want to talk about it now because a few days to come, we're probably going to put up a post as to how much we've been able to raise and the partnerships that we have, so that we can ensure that we to organizations to help as well with some of these projects. That's awesome as well. Now, what we also did in JDI was that we're partnering with another organization that does trainings for sanitation and hygiene. So we're not taking that off. So we're like, guys, you NGO, one of your mission is to train children on hygiene and sanitation stuff. This is what we're doing for Iwa community. How can you come? How can we work together so that that NGO as well would be able to put out that part of what they have done on the sanitation is that they have trained 21 children in sanitation and hygiene stuff. And that's a big plus for that community, for that NGO. And that's because we are partnering with them, because we can't do everything. So while I'm saying all of these things to you, I also need you to think about partnership that way. Think about how you yourself can, engage with other NGOs to also come together to doing something great for your community. So let me move to mental health. In the mental health arm of JDI, our main project is called Unburden Group Therapy Session. Now, we in JDI do not have experts who are therapists, but we have volunteers and we also have lay counselors, right? So, but what we do is that we organize a group therapy session every month. It's called a group therapy. I think I repeated myself. So it's called a group therapy session, and we have it once in a month, and it's free. What we do is that we open it up to the public for people to come into a safe space, which we have created. And also we provide for refreshments and everything. The people who come into that safe space do not pay anything they don't pay anything for refreshment. They don't pay for the look, nothing. They just come in there. And what we do is that we bring in experts, right? Psychologists, psychiatrists, any form of counselor who can sit there and allow people unburden. That's why we call it Unburden Group Therapy Session. Allow people talk, because I'm big on that. People do not have that support system where they can speak and just talk and say, guy, this is what I'm going through. These are the issues I'm going through. And this is how it's affecting my mental health. This is how it's, we wanted to do that as an organization so that people would feel free to speak about these things. And I cannot tell you how many kinds of revelation that we have gotten from people, like what has been affecting them, and how we've also been able to help them through the counselors as well. So these counselors, of course, speak to them, and eventually they get some free mental health service. Now, what we now started to do as an NGO was that we started to have what we call the themed group therapy session. So beyond just opening it up out to the general public, which were fine, to do, we started to say, okay, how can we do group therapy sessions for women who are abused, group therapy sessions for sickle cell warriors, group therapy sessions for cancer patients, group therapy sessions for children living or people living with disability, group therapy sessions for children in secondary school or teenagers and everything. That way, we can now say this is the impact that we're making directly to a set of individuals. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. So that's what the Unburden Group Therapy session does. So part of ways that you can partner, is, for example, supporting as well with funds that goes towards the refreshment, because we don't want to tell people like, oh, come for this group therapy session, but you have to pay 1,000 naira and all of that. And people start to look at it as, these guys just want to take our money, right? But we want them to feel so safe and comfortable that, right. So part of it is to support by saying, I would like to, go support the refreshments, or I have this nice space, or our office has this nice space that you guys can come once in a month and use that place, for your group therapy session. So many different ways. Or if you feel like, oh, there's a group of people that need JDI service on mental health, like, can you organize a group therapy session for I don't know, the bosses in my in my office, because we think our bosses are going crazy. So this is like a joke. But while I was on radio, there was a time I mentioned that I really, really think that all of our senators, our governors should go for some mental health check thingy, because I'm like, I think you guys, there's something wrong with you. How do you come up with this policy? Like, are you okay? So that's like a joke, but I'm saying there's the same way as well. If you feel like your organization needs stuff like that, that's how we can partner, right? Okay, and then the last, I'm so sorry I'm rushing this, because I did say I wanted us to stick with 30 minutes so that you can also ask me more questions, right? But we're already going past 30 minutes. So the last part is the youth empowerment through volunteering arm of JDI. Now, gosh, I am a big believer of volunteering. A lot of the access that I have right now, or a lot of the opportunities that I've been able to find myself in, that maybe possibly is even giving me money right now, did not start from money. It started from me volunteering, and then more opportunities came, so I've always been big on, guys, how can we get young people to see that it is such a huge opportunity to volunteer and serve? Because when we serve, there's a huge blessing, that comes in it. But now the project under our youth empowerment through volunteering arm is called the Leadership Exchange Program. Now, the Leadership Exchange Program is a program that we set up that is for young people between the ages of 18 to 25. And what we do is that we basically train you on the aspect of community building, servant leadership, and putting quite a number of skills and trainings basically that would help you to be a better leader in community. Now, what we do is that it's a 1-month program basically, and coming into that program, we also have other partner organizations who are willing to take in these individuals from Mondays to Thursdays. So the regular program is Mondays to Thursdays. These individuals that have signed up to the Leadership Exchange Program go to these organizations and serve and volunteer there. The whole point is you're going to these organizations and you're going to serve them. That's the first thing. Then usually on Fridays we have like excursions, and then Saturdays we now have trainings that we, with different facilitators and everything. So that's how the Leadership Exchange Program works. We did that last year. It was fantastic. We had 15 young people who are ambassadors and alumnus or alumni, however you want to look at it, of the LEP, and they are still within our platform, and we still push a lot of opportunities to them, to get them to be the great leader that they ought to be, in community. And how can you partner with the Leadership Exchange Program? So for example, one of the ways is, saying, oh yeah, our organization can take 1-2 young people that you have interviewed and you're going to bring in. I'd like to partner with JDI for your next LEP. We can take 2 individuals. We can take 1, we can take 3, we can take 5, because we need these organizations to give us that chance so that they can serve them. They can volunteer. And of course, in volunteering as well, there's always the back and forth, benefits that comes. So that's the 4, or those are the 4 arms of JDI, and it's exactly 4:37. And I think I'm going to stop here to see how I could get questions from any of you, or feedback, or anything you'd like for me to respond to. Yes, because we have a few minutes before it logs off. I can't see MacPherson's face. I think the only person's face I can see right now is just Femi and Veronica, which is nice to know.
I am here. I'm still driving, so I'll soon park, then I'll talk.
Okay, that's okay. I can see Sarah. Sarah, I can see you. The time is 4:37, and we're going to be logged off in. Oh, we're not going to be logged off. Oh, we're not going to be logged off. Yay! So that's nice. I'm taking directions from my Oga. So, who's speaking? Oh, there's a question on the chat. Right. Oh, yes. So I can see a question from Femi. Femi saying that are there collaborations with state governments in terms of funding already? No. Personally, no. Okay, so I feel like as a founder, I have to learn, like, it's as if It's as if everyone has been saying, Angela, you need to do partnerships with government, you need to do partnerships with government, you need to do this, you need to do government. And I feel like, this is me, I feel like if we're not careful, we're going to not do what we're supposed to do with the little that we have because we're waiting to do something with government. I have no problem with doing anything with government or getting funding from government, but we know how slow and everything it can be. And then there's a lot of drag in that. And I'm just big on, let's do what we can do with the little that we have. So I've always been a person that talks about capacity. When I say capacity, it's like, for example, you've got this phone. What can you do with this phone? Or you've got 1,000 naira. What can you do with 1,000 naira? Right? Is that the best thing you can do with 1,000 naira? Okay, I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but my point here is, what do you have? Yes, what do you have, and how best can you use what you have to make an impact? Then you get to a point where you have exhausted everything that you have. It's like, I don't have anything else, and I've done 100% within the little that I have. And I always believe that when you get to that point, it's like there's that breakthrough for the next level. So right now, there is no partnership that I have with the government. What I have been doing so far is more of seeing partnerships with individuals who I'm trying to bring into the space of being more concerned about our community. There's this mindset that we have where it's like, okay, let's leave everything to the government. Government, this is government's responsibility. And I get that government has their responsibility, but we also have our own our own social responsibility as well. And I think that's the space I'd like to fit in. If government comes in later on to say, oh, JDI, we like what you're doing, can you do this? Fine. But chasing after government right now, not really my focus, right? Or JDI's focus. Next question says, how can we begin to talk about our various state government? How can we begin to talk to our various state governments? Well, I think it's straightforward. If you've got access to any government official that you have a relationship with, it starts from there. I feel everything starts from there. You have two options. It's either you write your normal proposal to a state government organization, you submit it, it goes through the regular, and then you are following up. Either you do that, but I am big on individuals and relationships. If I have a friend who is in the government, then that's the first place I will probably go towards and try to convert that friend to think ISR first. If that individual in the government can think ISR first, then that person will be able to translate his own responsibility towards that government in CSR. Did you get me? That's my answer to that one. Okay, then the other question says, is from Josephine saying, for my post-graduation diploma, I'm required to do my industry training in counseling field. Can I volunteer in your organization? I'm based in Abuja. It's a tricky one. You now get to ask me this question when we're live, and I'm trying. Okay, so first of all, let me confirm this. You're doing your postgraduate degree postgraduate diploma in counseling, right? You can turn on your mic because it's nice to get feedback from you. Okay, now your IT is going to be for how long?
1 month.
For 1 month.
Yeah.
And part of the things that you are asked or required to do in your IT, I don't know how it works for you. Are you required to participate in some direct counseling to individuals?
Yes.
Okay. What area of counseling what's your specialization in counseling? Because counseling is good.
Okay, education, vocational education.
Vocational education.
For vocational counseling.
Vocational counseling. Okay, so that means you would most likely be like the typical people that they put in secondary school as guidance counselors, and then children will come and say, I feel you. Okay, that would be great. I don't see that as a problem. And interestingly, we're having one of the group, we're supposed to be, I just need to confirm from the COO, but we're supposed to be having a themed group therapy session in one of the months this year, specifically for children in secondary school.
Yeah.
So it would be perfect actually if you come in. What month is that? It's in October. So I don't know when when is your
It's perfect. I'm finishing. I'm finishing my diploma around October. So it's even better.
See? Oh my God, this is lovely. Okay, so I think that would be perfect, like having you come on board just before or having that 1 month stay with us, because that way you know that there's that synergy between what you're really doing and the group therapy session that we're having then. However, beyond even the group therapy session, it'd be great as well for you to see what JDI does and how we involve other counselors and other therapists in the things that we do in-house. So on this note, that you can actually write us officially and just state your request, and I'm sure that would get back to you ASAP. Right?
Thank you.
That was a smart one, but I'm also happy about this. Awesome. Okay, who's going next? Any question? I don't know. No, okay, that was from Josephine. Veronica, you've been smiling, and I think your smile is infectious from where I'm seeing. What exactly is making you smile?
It was a good one that she pulled them. That was a great opportunity to get an internship, I think.
Cool.
But for me, I also wanted to state that for the volunteering, I had followed the process because I run a blog and I share opportunities. So I had earlier shared your mentorship opportunity. But I would have loved to be a mentor, only that for now we don't have an office space. So we are online. So I wanted to ask if you have a virtual mentorship opportunity that you have for mentors.
Okay, you said you shared the mentorship opportunity. Which was that, please?
The LEP.
Okay, so that's
I have a blog where I share opportunities, and I'd earlier seen, yeah.
Okay, so where are you based, Veronica?
Abuja.
Abuja. Okay, so you're asking if I, as me, or JDI?
No, I'm asking as JDI, do they have,
yes.
Because you say you run a mentorship program, but the mentorship program is for the non-profits, for the non-profit space, for people to have the experience. But for my organization, we don't have our office space, we don't have a physical office space.
Yes, go on.
So how can we offer our mentorship opportunity for someone, regardless as we don't have a space? But
okay, I think
then the person can work with us and contribute.
Okay, I see. So the leadership, I think is just the term mentorship there. So the leadership exchange program, right? So has that segment where, for example, Mondays to Thursdays, the individuals that we have brought in work with organizations. So you are saying that how can your organization, which is virtually right now, be a part of the leadership exchange program where you would take in some of the, okay, right.
Yes.
As it stands right now, there was an organization who joined us last time, and they were only able to take in, maybe I'll confirm from Angela, I think there was a virtual time. They still had to have a physical, that would be dicey.
No,
let me tell you.
What I was saying is there can be a physical meet, but the problem is there's no office space. That's the problem. So it's not like we have
there's no space where they can get to sit
there's
down.
There's no guaranteed space for Monday to Thursday, but then there can be a meet up where they can have conversations. I don't know. I'm
see.
just throwing it out there. If that there's an open
So
space.
I'm also thinking about how that's going to work. I'm thinking about how that's going to work because these people who are going to be working with you would need to be with you 9 to. They actually have like a schedule of what you would expect them to do, right? So the question is, how can we also how can you also give them a schedule of what to do virtually and they're still part of the organization, but maybe once in a while within those days or so there could be a meetup, right? So I think that could be possible, but we would need to ensure that these people who are coming to work with you are not we need to make sure that they're being engaged, because that's very important for us. Because there was this organization who said, yeah, they could come in, but the people were not engaged. They were not doing anything. And we didn't want that. But as long as they are engaged and there's a feedback mechanism as well, and then there's a face-to-face thing, I'm sure for your organization, we could make an opening, definitely. So if that's what you're saying, we would like to, get your details as well. If you could put your details in the chat box, I see
I could just send like an introductory email. I think I got down
she's
the
going to
email.
pick that up, and then we'll talk to you directly on how that's going to work. Okay. The chat box. Okay. Fantastic. So the email is in the chat box right now. I'm happy that you've suggested this. And I think this will also open us to consider other people that are in your situation as well, to say, okay, yeah, we didn't think about that aspect, but it's nice to see this coming from you. Thank you. Okay, any other question? I haven't seen Sarah's face. I can see Sarah's, she dropped a comment, Sarah. All right. Okay, Sarah is saying, I just want to tell you that so far you have been soaring. Then advise you to leverage videos like the documentary you did for the community in Niger State with the call to action. People seeing live what the living condition of others are will understand the burden you carry and hopefully lend their support. Go Jela. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're big on storytelling. And let me also tell you what we did. As an organization as well, we had to partner with a videographer to say, we need to tell the story of Naja. Can you volunteer and support us in that? Because I can't do, I can do stuff with my phone and all of that, but we need it to be done properly, So we're big on partnerships. So constantly seeing how can I connect with this person? How can I partner with this person? At the end of the day, what's the aim? We're trying to make social impact, right? Sarah is saying that she's sorry that she can't, she's at work and hence no video, but I'm happy that you can hear. And yeah, that's about it. So I don't have any other thing else to say except to just encourage you to.
I actually want to ask a question.
Okay, you got a question?
Yes.
I'm not even sure who's speaking.
It's Marcus.
Oh, Marcus, fantastic.
Yes.
Go ahead.
My organization, we are a group of creative individuals. As I have introduced myself earlier, how can we partner with you, with your organization? It's a group of baggy creatives. So I don't know.
Okay,
how can we partner with you?
So sometimes when I get questions like this, I'm sorry. When I get questions like this, like, okay, how can you partner? I feel like that's a question you would have to ask yourself. You would have to ask your organization, right? Like, how can you or your organization partner with JDI? I've kind of like shared.
Or should I rephrase it? How can we add value to your organization?
No, it's still it's still the same thing. The question is, what would you? So I always ask this question: what do you want? Right. So I've shown you what we want or what we do in the four segments or initiatives for JDI. So what do you want?
Okay. I think I'll use the same email you guys sent the link to me. Then I'll actually look through and then know what we can actually do to your organization. I
Okay.
think that would be fine.
That, yeah, I think that
Yeah.
would be great as well. That would be great. But at the top of my head, because you're like an NGO of creative individuals, and meaning that all of you guys are baggy, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
Think you have a hybrid virtual production um program. Just let me know how
Fantastic. Okay, because I was just
which
thinking,
needed.
for
So,
example, when we went to Niger, I'm just thinking when we went to Niger State, and we had some people who needed to, they were speaking in the Baggy language, and we needed to have it translated as well. So
oh
yes, we needed that to be translated. So imagine if we still got it translated through another means. But if we knew that, oh yeah, these guys are, they speak baggy and everything, I'll just be like, Marcos, come on, help me out here.
yes,
Translate what this woman is saying. Or
no problem.
yes, so that is one way,
No
but I think
problem.
there are other
Anytime.
ways.
Yeah.
Then this is another
Okay.
thing
No
again.
problem.
Sometimes content needs to be created in the language. So as a business, like for me, not JDI, my business is called Inspired by Jela, and what I do is that I produce audio content in various Nigerian languages. So I've got voiceover artists who work with me. I have translators who work with me. So that's my business, right? So, and I do a lot of audio content stuff. So
Okay.
sometimes if JDI, for example, is trying to reach out to a particular community, and that community, all they speak is Baggy, for example, or even when all they speak is Baggy, for example, this is a fantastic way to connect with your organization to say, how can you help us with translation, and how can you help us with content in the local dialect, so that we can still connect with those people. Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
No problem.
There's one more
Yeah.
question from Femi.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Marcus. Another question, Femi, saying that, can we know how much the budget of the documentary is? Sarah's point is salient. Can few people sponsor? Okay, which documentary? We've already done the documentary. Is there a new documentary that, did I
Like
get
the
that
one we
wrong?
did for Niger States.
Mm-hmm. So you're
Yeah,
asking
if
for the,
we have to do for other opportunities that people might catch in, like the blood donor documentary, the mental health, if we want to do any of such, can we do documentary for each of them so people can identify with what exactly they
okay.
need to know about these
Okay,
issues.
so meaning you wanting to fund the documentary, or you wanting to search on the
Exactly.
documentary?
And that Mark Foss
Okay,
you're looking
yeah.
at is going to help me. I can give him money, he will do it. I'm
Oh,
putting it
that's
to him
great. That's great. Okay, so we
Femi
definitely.
knows me very well. We've
Oh,
known
I
each other for
see.
more than 10 years. Yes.
Oh, I see. I see. Awesome. This is great. It's great. I'll be very frank with you to say that we definitely need funding to come in, especially for J Blood Match, for example, right? But we need funding to come in for J Blood Match, and it would be great to also do like maybe some form of documentary, regarding J Blood Match, to see how we can also push it out, and even funding on radio and all of that, right? But when you talk about specifically like a documentary right now, giving you the cost, it's really dependent on the organization handling the documentary, because I could do a documentary for 500,000, another one could do it for 200,000, another one 1.5, and everything. It really depends. And that's why for us, what we decided to do was to reach out to a videographer who does that on his regular, that's what he does. And we're like, see, how can you support us by giving this to us? But if it's about costing, we can also find out the exact cost, and then I could get back to you on it, that this is what it will cost for us to do more documentaries elsewhere. I could do that. But right now, I wouldn't be able to say this is the figure. Yes. Okay. We want to go on radio. So we want to go on radio to talk more about J Blood Match, so that we can get people registered registered. We want to go to churches. We want to go to mosques. We want to go to where people are that have blood so that they can register. We need access. We want to be able to go to an office that has 20 people, you know, and then we're like, guys, register. And we know that we've gotten 20 people registered in that organization. Wherever you have people that are between the ages like from 18, we need access to these people so we can talk to them. So that is another way to support J Blood Match as well. Another way to support J Blood Match is for you to register as a blood donor and then kind of like, you know, share our content regarding it. So that's it. So if, for example, McPherson wanted to do a short documentary on J Blood Match, but in Baggy, that would be so cool. Like, you know, and another person could decide to do it in Yoruba. Oh my God, you know. So now I'm pushing it, but yeah, that's basically how we can collaborate. Please just visit our website, and that's www.jbloodmatch.org. That's the one for the blood, right? But of course, for JDI is www.jdi.org.ng. It has all of the information there. You can even see how to donate. So for example, you can donate on our platform as well. Yeah. So you can, you know, check the website and see how you can donate towards these courses. Now, once you make a donation, definitely for our mailing list, we literally tell you what is happening every month, what we're doing with your funds and all. I'm going to be making out a call very soon. There's something that we call the JDI Team 1000. We're going to be expanding it. It's called JDI Team 1000. We started first with JDI Team 100. And basically JDI Team 100 is a group of 100 people who are willing to support JDI with a certain amount of money every month for the next 12 months, right? And what we had was 5,000 Naira every month for the next 12 months. If you look at 5,000 Naira and you multiply that by 12 months, it's basically 60,000 Naira. But we're saying, don't give us 60,000 Naira. Can you fund us on a monthly basis with this amount of money and be with us for that 12 months? We want to show you what your 5,000 Naira is doing, right? And so that you can kind of like be a part of what is happening, as opposed to saying, oh yeah, just take the money and just go away. I actually want people who hold us accountable. It's like, okay, this is what you said you guys are going to do. What's happening? And it also makes you proud of the organization as well, that this is an organization that you can trust and you can vouch for, right? So that's basically where we are right now. If you could check the website, know more about us, send us information as well. If you've got your own websites or stuff, I'd love to read about your organization to see how, you know, we can partner as well and be a part of, you know, just helping each other and collaborating. I can see Oriyomi just joined in, or maybe joined in a few minutes ago, and we're just about to wrap up. Oriyomi, do you have anything to say? Oh, another person, and Faith Ochu joined in. Hi, Faith.
Hi,
Okay.
Angie.
Okay, thank you. So Faith and Oriyomi, we're about to wrap this up. Do you have any questions, contributions?
I really don't. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry I came late. And sorry for the background noise. The kids are at the background. Oh, well, please just forgive me. I won't be able to control that for now because okay. I'm a bit far away from them. Okay, yeah. So I hope to join more in future. So I wasn't really part of this meeting, but at least I got one or two things. I've checked the J Blood Match website before, and I'm checking it a second time now, and I think there are some improvements, which is very good. I'm a web person. I'm an application developer, so yes. I am reading about J Blood Match and the AI ability to be able to match blood. I still think a lot still needs to be done in terms of the web, yeah. But in future, we'll discuss more on that. So let me just say that's what I noticed. That's just
Thank you, Oriyomi. Thank you. It's good points. Interestingly, the website is supposed to be updated with some more information. So it's nice that you, as an IT person and a web developer, you checked it and you're like, we can do more and do better here, and that's great. Thank you so much. We are going to work on that. It's part of what we're supposed to be doing in few days or few weeks. In few weeks time, we're going to definitely make an adjustment. And guess what? JBlood Match as well, we want to put it up as an app, and that has been scheduled too, so that we have the app that can be downloaded by people. You can go on Facebook to register, and you can also do it on Telegram. So that way we're reaching different sets of people in different places. So I'm sure we can connect on that level as well. Okay, thank you, Oriyomi. Then Faith, has Faith gone? She has? Okay, Faith, do you have anything to say or contributions?
Nothing much. Sorry, I joined late. It just occurred to me that, oh my gosh, it was 4 o'clock and I saw that.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you. That's okay. Thank you, guys. This was awesome. I loved it. And I'm hoping that we could get to do this as often as possible. I really want to say thank you specifically to Femi. Femi was really big on ensuring that JDI did this today. And I'm so thankful to you and encouraging me to do this. Thank you. And, getting to meet all these wonderful people that joined in, and also the potential partnership and collaboration that could come out from here. Thank you. Thank you, Femi. God bless you. Okay, so I actually don't like saying goodbye, because I just feel like we just keep talking and talking, but I'm sure you have to continue with work. But yeah, so from me to you, God bless you. Please, let's just keep in touch. Contact details are there. Email me. Oh yeah, I can put my email address as well. My email address is this. That's my personal email address, and if you want to send me an email, please feel free. Okay, so can you just turn on your mic and say bye?
Bye, Angela.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.